But for me, to be the best possible educator you could be, you got to be the best learner that you can be. And I'm constantly learning. Like, for all the classes that I've taught, I promise you I've taken more classes than that. I've taken more classes than I've taught. And I think for me, like, if you try as much as you possibly can, and that might not be the lane for you, but if you learned something in there, that is the type of value that you can give to someone. Because we don't know. You don't know that you have a lot of things that if you just shared it to the world, man, you can change somebody's life. And that's something that can put you on the platform to educate. I didn't plan on being an educator. I just shared the things that I was learning, and people demanded it. People asked me for it. People started booking me. They started calling me. They started asking me, will you come to Australia? Will you come to Russia? Will you come here? And it happened. The market made that happen for me. I didn't create it. The market asked me for it.
This is Ambitious Angelo reporting for WooCutzTV, and I'm here in Philadelphia, Premier Philly, first time ever. It's been an awesome 2 days. We've had some barbering competitions, we've had some celebrity lookalike competitions, but in the midst of all of that, we got the Tomb 45 team. My guy Chris Bossio here was at part of the Universal Barber Supply Mastermind panel yesterday. He was dropping some gems, man. I was catching up on your YouTube channel. You did a movie for the CT Barber Expo I seen, man. So you got some awesome content out there, man. So thank you so much for sitting down with us and doing this. Bossio.
Yeah, my name is Chris Bossio. I'm a barber first and foremost, but entrepreneur as well. I started a YouTube channel probably 3 years ago, and before that I had 2 barbershops, and I had a steady clientele, averaging about 100 haircuts a week. And people were constantly picking my brain, asking me for information, because just in my city, in my area,
Where you from?
I'm from Tampa, Florida. So I kind of built a name for myself locally. People knew I was a busy barber, and they wanted to ask me questions and stuff. So for a while, people were asking me to drop some videos, make some tutorials. You should make some tutorials, and I finally did. And I remember the first video I did was the T-Rex trimmer, when everybody was cutting them up and stuff, and that video took off. And then from there, I started putting out content, and it's been 3 years later. Own 7 barbershops now. Own a successful 7.
7 barbershops.
Yes, sir. 7 barbershops. A successful. What I like to say is a successful product line. The YouTube channel, and I go on tour now, so I educate full time. I cut maybe 2 hours a week in the shop because I want to, because I love it. And sometimes you get the barbershop zone, so you gotta get back in. But I think in the last year we've done probably 70 different cities, including international cities and stuff like that. We just go and we teach and we educate and we just give, man. We give more than we take.
That's awesome, man. What were some of the obstacles that you faced starting your YouTube channel?
Yeah, I mean, for me, is not knowing stuff is never a challenge. You know, you gotta kind of expect that. You gotta know that you're not gonna know anything starting off. But the problem is that when people feel that way, they don't go look out and seek the sources that are out there. I YouTube, I Google. The same way you're YouTube and you're Googling haircuts and you're on Instagram looking for information, that's what I did, and I learned how to edit, and I learned what to use. And I used terrible editing software in the beginning. I used terrible cameras in the beginning. But what I love about my channel is you get to see the growth. You see the growth, not just in my skill set, but also the quality of my haircuts, the voiceovers, the microphones I'm using, and I share that with you guys. But that's never really the challenge. The challenge to me was picking good advice and bad advice. And I'll give you an example. When I first started, everybody hated my voiceovers because I stuttered a lot, because I wasn't well spoken, and they asked me to do scripts and stuff. And one thing I never want to be is a robot, man. I want to be transparent. I want you guys to hear the stuttering and all that stuff. And what that will do is it'll make you better. It'll make you a better speaker. You're gonna go through 100 videos and they're gonna be all whack, but eventually it's gonna click and it's gonna become second nature. And that's the best advice I can give you. Choose wisely what advice you're taking from people, and choose wisely the people that you're putting around you, because if they're not what you want to be, if they're not successful in the advice that they're giving you, why are you even listening to it? You know what I mean? So I would say that was the hardest advice.
Yesterday in the class you said that you were literally cooking up your own, your first batches of your product brand, man. You said you were YouTubing stuff, you were Googling it, man, and that's honestly, that's impressive. It's impressive. And you said, if you want to do something in this world, there's no excuse why you couldn't do it nowadays. With so much information that's out there, and being an example of making your own, product, cooking it up. What was that process like?
Yeah, so I didn't have a big following at the time. I didn't have any money. I didn't have any investors or anything like that, so I had to figure it out. I called a bunch of factories, and the prices were insane. You have to order 10,000 piece minimums if you want a real product that's actually yours. You can slap your brand on anything, but for me, I wanted something that was mine, and I wanted to create a product I believed was the best product. So I would go, first of all, formulation from a chemist is going to run you at least $3,000. That's just to get the formulation. You haven't even ordered ingredients. You haven't ordered bottles. It's insane how expensive it could be just to start one product, one SKU. So the only way that I could figure it out was, shit, I'm gonna have to start making this myself, right? And I remember seeing a lot of people, cooking up their own pomades and beard oils and stuff like that. But Shay does another monster. Shay does a little bit different. So I actually Googled cosmetic chemistry classes. I YouTubed it. I bought online courses. And I was in my kitchen like a meth lab, bro, cooking up shape gel, powders everywhere. My wife thought I was crazy. And it was funny because I wanted to launch it at the premiere. We had like 45 days to do it. I had no shave gel, we had no booth, we had no logo. And in 45 days, I cooked up like every single day, bro. Every single day, new shave gels, tested them. When we finally got one that people liked, it stuck. And in 45 days, we created the product. We got the booth together, the logos, the branding. We launched at the premiere, and we sold like 700 bottles the first day. It was a crazy journey. Yeah, crazy journey.
I was just talking to Dre the Giant, and being able to show people your fruit makes people believe that they can plant seeds and they'll get fruit too. You can't just plant the seeds and then walk away and hope that, oh yeah, I'll come back in 5 years and there'll be fruit there. Like, no, it doesn't work that way. You got to put in the work. You got to, like you said, you got to fail so many times to be able to find the way that it does work. And I see that a lot of people will stop when they find failure. And how do you deal with failure?
I got good people around me. I got really good people around me that kind of, there's a lot of stuff, man, that there's a lot of bad decisions I could have made that would have stopped any of these things, any of these verticals that I have going on. But I have good people around me. And one of the things that we say constantly in our circle is you got to take shots. You got to take shots, right? Like, nobody remembers the ones you miss. They only remember the ones you make. And trust me, there's a lot of companies and verticals that I started that I had to close down. But I learned from each and every one of them. And I also wasn't afraid to take action. So, like, one of the things that most people wouldn't do, like, take a flight to China. And I documented that. Like, most people just go on Alibaba. Like, I learned from other people's mistakes as well. And I decided, let me see this for myself. We took a flight, we went to China, we were out there for 2 weeks, and we went to factories and we shook hands. And these are the type of things that seem insane. There's no ROI on that, right? Like, that's 10 grand gone. I didn't know what I was gonna get out of that, but I knew I was gonna learn something. So for me, like, failures, bro, that's amazing. You want to fail a lot.
I think Jay-Z has a line that says, he's like, a loss ain't a loss, it's a lesson. And I've taken plenty of losses in my life, but it's about how you react to failure, what you do with it. Do you learn from it? Do you grow from it? Does it stretch you? Or do you just let it paralyze you? Do you let it just push you back and hold you back? If you was watching this interview 5 years ago, what would you tell yourself of 5 years ago?
What I would tell people is, look, I've been doing this. I've been a licensed barber for 7 years. And I started this company 3 years ago. A lot of people would say I'm a puppy in this industry. But for me, we talked about failure. I don't care how many years you've been in this industry. I care about how many times you failed in this industry. Because a lot of people stay stagnant and do the same thing for 25 years straight. That doesn't mean anything to anybody. It doesn't mean anything to yourself as well. So what I would tell you guys, like, you did the whole Alibaba thing, I would still go through with it. I would still go through with it because for me, you don't know if you don't know. And honestly, you might put out a pomade that's better than every pomade out there. And that pomade will help people. And that pomade will make people feel better. So I would tell you, just try it, right? And same thing goes to everybody here. Like, a lot of people will try to tell you where you should be and where you shouldn't be because of how long you've been in the game. They don't know that you're up at night at 4 a.m. while they sleeping. They don't know that you work 7 days a week while they're working 4 or 5, right? So their week isn't the same week that you use, that you have. So I would tell you, man, yo, take shots. Take as many damn shots, learn as much as you possibly can. If you fail, you fail. But the best thing you could do is be successful at something, and that's only gonna help so many people. So that's what I would tell you.